Good evening. It's Dr. Dina Churchill, Innovator in Health and Wellness, and we're here for a 10th moon meditation in Pisces. So what we'll do is take some of the personality and characteristics of the constellation of Pisces and mix it with the emotions and spiritual intentions of our sacral chakra to guide our meditation today. So if you didn't get the memo, today is going to be the first meditation we'll do on our back. So if you want to get in that position now and listen as I talk for a little bit, please feel free. So you'll need 3 pillows, 2 for underneath your knees, a small little pillow for underneath your head or your neck, and a rolled up towel for your lower back. Also make sure you're warm and comfortable. You've got your oils. I love the orange oil, is my favorite for this chakra, but you have your essential oils and maybe some water. So water or soul and lemon juice in water. And again, sort of a little covering in case you get cold. But I'll show you the setup a little later, but feel free to go into it now if you'd like. So the moon in Pisces. Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune, so it's magical and it escapes into different realities. The sign of Pisces, which is the fish, you have 2 fish going in different directions. So the one fish is swimming towards the heavens, is kind of magical and mystical and looking for the spiritual lesson in things. And the other fish is swimming towards the earth and lower, heavier densities, is into fear and anxieties and self-pity and self-loathing and victim mentality. So the whole sign of Pisces, this is our lesson, is that life is just an event until we place our perceptions upon it. And we can create our own reality by how we use our subconscious mind. So the moon Pisces also is about feeling. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio are the most intuitive signs. So the 12th house, the 4th house, and the 8th house are intuition, where our boundaries are thin and we have access to other information. And again, in Pisces, it's our subconscious that we're connecting with. It's a great time to be in a spiritual group, assessing the subconscious. So I'm hoping that's what we might do tonight in our meditation. Particularly powerful because it's a new moon. So I'm just going to show you a little diagram, the difference between a new moon and a full moon. So just come with me for a moment and we'll just go over this. Here we go. So let me give you an orientation to that photo first. Okay, I think I have it now. So here's the sun, here's the earth, and then the moon goes around the earth. So the full moon's over here and the new moon's here. So you can see in astronomy, the new moon represents kind of the first part of the lunar phase. And the astrological interpretation of that, of course, is a new moon is new beginnings, symbolizes new beginnings. So the full moon, the new moon, and the earth, the full moon and the new moon, the earth, the sun are lined up, and the moon, all perfectly. The tides are at their highest and lowest. And in both these states, their most defining phases, the water's transformed. It's stunning, really, energy. So the full moon's about completion, and the new moon is about new beginnings, like a second chance. So each lunar cycle, we're sort of reincarnated to the birth of the new moon. It grows, it waxes to full, and then it kind of degenerates and is born again. So in a new moon cycle, we're to write down our intentions, ask for assistance, banish the old, and come in with the new. So we're going to look for, I'm going to see if I can turn this around again now. Here we are. We're going to look at putting that into our intentions for our sacral chakra. So if you've seen our meditation, 3 meditations ago, the moon was in Sagittarius, and we looked at that. We also looked at the Magdalene manuscript in the Alchemy of Horus and Sex Magic of Isis. So if you want another angle from that sacral chakra, you can go back to that meditation, and they're all uploaded on the YouTube channel, Dina Churchill, or you can scroll down the Facebook page. But the sacral chakra is the second chakra. It's orange in color. It vibrates to musical note D. And it's really about our creativity. It's about our expression, our fertility in the world, our sexual health. So when it's balanced, we feel creative and joyful and have healthy sexual relationships. We're fertile and we feel cheerful. When there's this chakra is closed, we could feel shamed and guilt, and we have unhealthy sexual relationships. We're infertile. We could have sexual dysfunctions. And because we can't understand how to pleasure ourselves, we're seeking for pleasure in the environment. So addictions, not only to sex, but to money, gambling, and sugar. When we don't feel sweet on the inside, we're reaching for things on the outside. So this is, and those are indications, of course, of the chakra being closed. Now, we all work with energies, and even as a kid, I remember I was attracted to things like crying babies and mad dogs and sick friends, just to move and to shift energies. And then in chiropractic college, I remember clinicians would send me patients who were afraid to be touched, or were afraid of having their bodies moved or manipulated. And coincidentally or not, there was always a history of kind of sexual trauma or physical trauma that shut them down. And then as I moved into my clinical practice, I would still see this, many patients who were afraid of manipulation or were afraid in some way, and had their second chakra closed. So I remember telling a story, I think on the last meditation, about a patient I adjusted her sacroiliac joint, and she had an emotion, a memory of her uncle molesting her when she was 3 years old. That happened many times, hundreds of times. So much so that I developed a coaching business on the side, because the physical maneuvering of the tissue liberated emotions, and then I didn't have tools to sort of deal with that. So I did coaching programs, and then I studied with John DeMartini, the DeMartini method, a way of balancing emotions to sort of heal your body. So this whole idea of chakra, it's not, it's something that has deep meaning to me, because it's not just the physical organs, but it's the emotions and the memories and the spiritual messages that are attached to it. So in your sacral chakra, it holds the organs of the pelvis below your umbilicus. So it'd be your ovaries, testes, prostate, uterus, and your lower bowel. So that's what we're going to be looking at in the meditation. But so I'll show you that in just a second, the setup before we sit down. But in the chakra, again, it's like an energy vortex that gives and receives energy. So again, when it's clear, when we remove the obstacles, it functions normally, like a heart. But if there's a blockage, is what creates that stagnation of energy and excess. So it can create power dynamics in relationships. Again, if you're not fulfilled within yourself, you try to overpower someone else. It comes from a feeling of being out of control or not feeling powerful. You have that need to overpower. And sexual shame is a big one with this chakra. And shame can come from our religions, from our families, from sexual experiences. So incest and rape and pedophilia and infidelity, all those things can feed each other. And I remember in my coaching, I was coaching a lady, this one particular lady who had been incested by her father, and her father had tried to kill her through her upbringing, and she had a lot of trauma in her body. So her fish that was swimming down wanted to see herself as a victim. Poor me, what a shitty life I had. I can't believe this happened to me. No one else has had this pain and this turmoil. But the other fish, after we looked at the situation, could see kind of the spiritual message in that. And if you can see why something happens and you can understand how it served you, you turn your fish around and it starts swimming up instead of swimming down. So in her case, we looked at that event and the incest. Her mom had been shut down sexually, so her father was just looking, seeking for a outlet for his sexual pleasures, I guess, or desires. And we could see, or she could see, in looking at that incident, that pain, that turmoil is really what fed her purpose in life. So she was a woman that was working in personal development for other women, teaching women how to be strong and powerful and empowered. And she said, I couldn't have been there, I couldn't have gotten there without that trauma. That opens my heart, because this is what this moon's teaching us, besides kind of watery tears and emotion, is to really change your perception. And you can be disempowered and hold yourself down, or you can look at how the pain has served your purpose and turn it around. So we're going to look at that as we do our meditation. We're going to be looking at your own personal situations. And there may be some emotions that would come up as we're doing our Maya massage. And some pieces might be tender, but be gentle with yourself. You know, we're just here to create a loving container, and then magic happens. The second chakra is about indulging in your sexual pleasures and your sensual pleasures. So it is really having you know what that is for yourself, because you can't communicate your desires to a partner, for example, or even pleasure yourself if you don't know what that is. So the intention for today is really to know what pleases you, to know what your desires are, and to really attach to your senses. So we're going to be using music, we use our essential oils, and we're using touch, which is a powerful one, to help us open and release any negative energy in the second chakra. So I think we're ready to go. So I don't know how I'm going to get this presentation and how I'm going to get on the floor. I have kind of an apparatus set up there in the back. So I'm going to put in some music to distract you until I get on my back in position. And you could, again, have the pillows under your knees, a little towel under your back, and we're going to come into that. So let me turn on some music, and then we'll get into the position. Okay. Okay, we'll put on some calming music now. Okay, thank you for staying with me. I think we're still live, so that's great. Okay, now I'll just review over your setup. So I have 2 pillows underneath my legs. I hope you can hear me okay. Maybe somebody can give me a thumbs up if you can. And there's a little roll underneath my lower back, and then I have a pillow under my head. So you can have just a little towel underneath your head, if that's good for you. I have mine elevated just so my voice hopefully will carry and you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. So first we're just going to find our landmarks. So if you have you can just pull your pants down just a little bit so you can see your hip bones. And your umbilicus is in the center. These are your ASIS, or your hip bones, and your pubic symphysis is right here. So this is the sacral chakra. This is what we're working, this area. Now if I take my model and put on me here. Okay, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. This is what we're looking at. So this is the top part of my hips, the iliac crest. These are your hip bones, your ASIS that stick out here. These are your leg bones that come into your pelvis. This is your pubic symphysis. Okay, so this is your pubic bone, that high mound there, and your umbilicus is about here. So all these organs that we talked about, the ovaries and testes and prostate, they're all in this area. So that's the area we're going to be working. We have our knees bent, so the muscles are going to be relaxed into our belly. And you should just feel comfortable. So I want you just to put your hands first, your thumbs near your umbilicus, and just make a little heart with your hands. I want you to connect to that sacral chakra. So just breathing normally. When you take a big breath, I want you to tighten your pelvic floor muscles. So those are the muscles that you'd use to stop your urine flow. So as you inhale, pull up on those muscles like an elevator, and then exhale, relax. So let's try that a few times. Every time you inhale, tighten your pelvic floor muscles. Inhale and exhale. So if you can hold your breath on the inhale. So when you take a deep breath, inhale and hold your breath on the inhale. This helps oxygenate your lungs and your heart. It gives your body a chance to kind of collect all that oxygen, and then exhale as you need to. So this Maya massage is helpful for anyone who has any issues in this area. So again, I should say, if you're pregnant or you have any bleeding disorders of the pelvis,
this wouldn't be the thing for you. If you have any other health conditions, you may want to check with your health provider before you go through and continue with this process. But disorders of the pelvis, so if you had infertility, or you have endometriosis, or problems with your lower bowel, constipation, your menstrual cycles are not regular, you have fibroids, problems with ovulation, pain on ovulation. I mean, those would be things that would really help. Sexual dysfunction, pain in your lower abdomen. These are conditions or symptoms, let's say, that would be helped with this massage. So now we're going to get our oils. I'm using orange. Please use something that you love, something that brings you pleasure, because we're looking at sort of pleasuring ourselves. So I love orange, and because this chakra is also orange in color, right? This is a nice juicy orange. This is the image that you want to hold as the organs into this area. Rub the oils together. Really get your hands warm. And put your hands on your lower abdomen. Just rub in the oil a little bit there. Good. Now what we're going to do is hold on this area. We're going to find the pubic symphysis, which is right here. And we have flat hands, so our index fingers are coming together. You can keep your thumbs at the bottom, or you can bring your thumbs at the top. But we're using a wave-like motion to kind of move and shift energy and blood flow along that lower abdomen. So starting at the pubic bone, and then just very gently sweep up to your umbilicus. Now, if you can do skin on skin, is even better. Sweeping up, holding in through here. So you can be light. Again, this is about your sensations. You can use a light touch, or you can push in a little bit, a half an inch or so, to really massage those organs on the inside. So come up slowly. And you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you're sort of pushing your breath out with your hands almost. And your fingers are flat on your belly. You're not poking in. They're flat. So they're kind of doing this wave-like motion. Pisces moon is a good time to do a wave-type motion. So we're going to come down to our pubic symphysis again. And then we're just going to bring our fingers together and use that gentle motion to come up to our umbilicus. Excellent. Now the second part is finding that hip bone and the pubic symphysis. Your pinky is on one hip, and then your other pinky is on your pelvic area. Hands together, and you're doing that wave motion again. So you're pulling up towards your umbilicus. So this again helps with lymph drainage in the area. It brings blood flow to the area. It helps move your fecal material along your lower bowel. Good, 3 times. Now the other side. Pinky finger out to the hip. The other pinky finger here. Index fingers together. And we're sweeping up towards our umbilicus. So 3 times on this side. Again, skin on skin is best. And again, you can use light strokes. You can use heavier strokes. But really kind of move into that tissue. Now, you may feel like a little resistance in the tissue. That could be scar tissue from a surgery. It could be endometriosis, which is like scar tissue, fibrous tissue forming on the inside. It could be that, there's stool in your bowel that needs kind of releasing. It could be emotion. There could be an emotion or a trauma that you've stored in there. There could be childbirth scarring. So, be gentle with yourself. But generally, if you feel an area of resistance, it's good to kind of stay with it and just try to massage it out, show it some love. Now we're going to come back to the front again, to the pubic symphysis, and we're going to do those 3 again. Up towards our umbilicus, flat fingers in a wave-like motion. So we're helping move energy along that area. If something's painful, just be gentle with yourself. But notice what feels good. Does it feel good to do this? Does that feel relieving? Does it feel relaxing for you? 3 times on this side. And 3 more times over on this side. So again, the sacral chakra is knowing what pleasures you. So I just want you to try a very light touch, hardly touching your skin, very lightly. And is this sensation, more pleasurable than the deeper massage? So this is something that you can do on your own. I'm going to post the directions to this that you can do at home. but it's just sort of a beginner lesson, let's say, in the lower part of your abdomen. There's also one that you can do for the solar plexus. So now what I'd like you to do is bring your hands just to your sacral chakra. So your thumbs are near your umbilicus, and you have like a little heart that's symbolic. I don't know if this is an actual mudra, but I'm going to call it the sacred sacral mudra, where we're showing love to our second chakra. And just breathe normally. But hold on the inhale and close your eyes and just feel the heat of your hand into your second chakra. Imagine that orange color is a light, and it engulfs your hands like it grows outwards. With each breath, you can feel that energy kind of growing. You can pull up on your Kegel area, the Kegel exercises, like those pelvic floor muscles. Just tighten it and release. Tighten and release. Tighten and release. That creates, again, blood flow and energy in the lower part of the sacral chakra. And breathing again. So we live in a world where there is lots of pain and turmoil. So we need to make sure we have this chakra open and that we know how to find pleasure in a painful world. So things that I do would be massage, to go have massage, salt scrubs, the float tank, where you're floating in 800 pounds of Epsom salts. Facial with Deanna, where she's putting oils and using tuning forks and tones, and I use my rebounder and jump around and pleasure myself in different ways. I've written an article on healthy sex, and I've talked about this yoni egg. So I just want to show you that egg. I don't know if you can see it there. Maybe I'll put it here, but I'll put that article. This is a quartz, rose quartz. Represents unconditional love. And I haven't talked about stones at all in these meditations, but stones and crystals are also helpful and hold an energy. So you can read more about that. So what I'd like you to do is really just being in that meditation. I'm going to read some intentions. Close your eyes, attach again to this kind of your subconscious. Pretend it's only you and I in the room, and your hands are my hands. So we're creating this healing space for each other. So breathing normally. Deep breath in. Hold and exhale. So I'm just going to read some intentions for you in this position. So allow your lymphatic system, and if I see something doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. Just your subconscious will grab it. You're going to allow your lymphatics to drain any negative energies from this area. And you can even do this with your hands. Gently kind of move energy out of that area. Let it drain down into your inguinal glands there. Just sort of push it out. So we're going to cleanse the lymphatics of any viruses, bacteria, parasites that you've picked up. You're going to release it now. You're restoring your immune system to 100%. Any trauma to your pelvis or your low back from falls or pollutants, your own birth or the birth of your children, you're healing and repairing. Any physical or emotional trauma, intergenerational trauma, you're going to release now from your DNA. Just release it. Let it go. Like this. Brush it away. Brush it away. Hands back again. Your hands are healing. Vibrational harmony in all atoms of your body. Say that. All atoms of my body in all dimensions now are harmonized. I'm neutralizing any electromagnetic effects to my cells, especially in my organs that are reproducing, my genital organs, and my central nervous system. I have perfect blood chemistry. My higher self knows my true desires and pleasures. Breathe in. Hold as long as you can before you exhale. And as you exhale, You're releasing any negative core beliefs across all times and dimensions. Inhale. Hold the inhale, oxygenating your lungs. I truly believe I'm unique and talented. Exhale. I'm unique and talented and beautiful and lovable. Everything I do or say or experience is part of my growth to higher states of consciousness. Everything I do or say and experience is a part of my growth to higher states of consciousness. The world is a wonderful playground that helps me express the magnificence I am. I release now any negative behaviors as I attach to my own joyful expression in the world. So whether or not you have a partner, intimacy first begins with you. Savishtana is the name of the sacral chakra, the second sacral primary chakra. And it's said to be blocked again with anxiety or taboos, anything regarding your sexual expression, anything that's shamed you or you felt guilty about. What's necessary to grow this area is respect and honor and truthful communication. The ancients talk about using sexual expression as a means of expanding your consciousness, but that only comes from a loving foundation of psychological safety, security, honor and respect of your beloved. You can't feel good, you can't feel pleasure if you're hurting someone else. So it's really to indulge in your own desires as long as it doesn't hurt you or anyone else. In Tantra, they have a saying, if I'm serving you and you are serving me, who is being served? So it begins with knowing yourself deeply, understanding yourself before you can know your partner or others. I have 2 poems I want to read. This one is from John Mark Green. Again, the sacral chakra is about connecting to your sensations, connecting to your pleasures and your desires. My warm whisper, intimate in your ear, the people around us completely unaware of how you tremble at the power of my words. I love making your body blush in places others can't see. Inhaling, exhaling. Now you can feel a full, energetic, orange, juicy energy in through that sacral chakra. You can feel blood flow and oxygen and energy as you've banished away any negative energy from that area. And our intention in this new moon, again, is to connect with that which pleasures us, indulging in your desires. So wiggle your toes and your fingers. And we're just going to come awake from our meditation. See if I can see you. There you are. It's so weird being upside down here on live Facebook. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate having company. The previous meditations will be on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and look at the previous meditations. I've talked about natal charts that I could do and the Genius energy system that you can download and work on your own energies. And again, that'll be, you can connect with me here on Facebook and I can guide you in that direction. Or you can look back again at our previous meditations on YouTube. I will post the links to the Healthy Sex article, for example, on my blog, which is healthtruth.blog. And our next meditation is going to be on the 26th, which is Wednesday. It's going to be in the morning, 8 a.m., Ash Wednesday. So I'd love you to join me there too. Again, thank you for being here. I'd invite you to reach for the stars, envision and achieve your personal best. And most of all, enjoy the journey. This is Dr. Dina Churchill signing out.